Are you tired of the same old routine? Do you feel like you're not progressing in your career? Do you feel like you even have a career? Do you want to see new places, try new things, and meet people from all over the world? How about be a part of something bigger than yourself or give back to the community? If you answered yes to any of these questions, the military might be for you. This presentation is going to demonstrate why you should join the military, and we're going to cover 5 major benefits of joining the military. Those are going to be education, travel, financial stability, medical benefits, and camaraderie. So let's start off with education. So if you're like me, I went to college before I joined the military, and I realized that, you know what, I don't want to do this. I'm not, my mindset is not ready for school, but I did complete some classes, and the military honored that. They're like, you know what, all that work isn't going to go for nothing. We're going to take those classes, we're going to award you credits towards an associate's degree that you could use later on. Now, speaking of using later on, let's talk about post-military and what you're going to do after let's say you do your 4 years or your 6 years and say, you know what, this is not for me. I don't want to do this anymore. Well, this is where the post 9/11 GI Bill comes in. A post 9/11 GI Bill is a great tool for veterans to utilize. It pays for 4 years tuition-free college, so you don't have to worry about your tuition. But on top of that, it gives you money to supplement going to school full-time, so you don't have to get a job while you're in school as well. Now, when you enlist in the military, you are threaded to a specific job, and you can't be expected to know your job if you haven't had the proper training. So it's the one thing that the military offers that is also beneficial towards education is on-the-job training. You could earn skills in the military towards a certain career field, and then you can use those skills outside in a different career, pursue that career as well. But you learn those skills, and it's all paid for by the military. And let's say that you want to go to school while you're in the military. Like me, I'm in school and I'm still active duty. So I'm not going to pay for school out of pocket, because what I'm using is a program called the tuition assistance. Now, tuition assistance is awesome because it allows active duty members to go to school while still being in the service and not having to pay ridiculous amounts of money. And they give you money every year to go to school, and every year it gets recycled, so you're not allotted, oh, you can only spend this much amount. You can spend this much amount every single year. Now, as you progress throughout the ranks in the military, you're going to go through a bunch of leadership courses to learn how to manage people. And this is especially important for people who want to take that outside of the military as well. So if let's say you're a supervisor, you're going to go through ALS, which is an Airman Leadership School. Airman Leadership School is a good tool to use outside as well, because you learn how to actually manage people, how to delegate, and you can use that in your future endeavors. So on top of all that, education, there's more to that, but moving on, there's travel. Now, if you want to think of any country in the world, and I guarantee you there's a base there. There's a military base there that you can be a part of. You can see all over the world. Just a little tidbit about myself. I came from San Diego, California, not ever traveling anywhere that I couldn't drive to within 8 hours. So I was limited to upstate California, Las Vegas, Phoenix area. In the military, in my short time in the military, I've been to Dallas, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, New York, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. I've been to Washington, D.C., Peru, Kuwait, Turkey, Germany, and this is all within 2-3 years of being in. I'm able to travel to all these places because the military gave me a official military passport. Now, this isn't really such a big thing if you're like, oh, whatever, it's just a military passport. But it's cool because it's for official business, and any country that the military sends you to, you basically get in. You don't have to worry about going through customs or anything like that. You hand them your passport, they scan it, they stamp it, and you're good to go to do whatever you need to. It also makes getting your civilian passport a lot easier because your profile's already been built. All you need to do is call them up and say, hey, I already have my military passport, can I get my civilian passport? And they're like, oh, we have all your information pulled up here, we see that you have a job, we see that you have this, we see your address, all right, cool, we're shipping it in the mail. Now, when they send you to all these different places, the military is not just going to say, hey, you know what, here you go, here's a new country, and boom, done, that's it, you got to learn on your own. They're going to send you something called a cultural brief. And cultural brief is cool because you get to learn the do's and don'ts of the country that you're in. Obviously, we do things different in America than even our neighbors in Canada or Mexico do things. So you can't be expected to just jump into a country knowing everything about the country. This is where a cultural belief comes in handy. This is how you act in a country. This is how you don't act in a country. This is what's okay. This is what's not okay. This is what is not so okay to do, just to make sure you know the rules and that you don't get in trouble. And when you're in this country, you're gonna need money. Who doesn't like money? One of the big things for the military, me, that I love is I know when I'm gonna get paid, and I know exactly how I'm gonna get paid, and that usually doesn't differ from what's shown. And if there is any variation between what is going to be, what my paycheck normally is and what it's not, I'm usually notified ahead of time, or hey, it's usually explainable. And bonuses in the military come based on your job. So if you're on flying status, you're going to get paid a little bit more because you're gone more often than not. There's other bonuses such as hazard duty pay, depending on where you're stationed, depending on what kind of materials you work with. And then if your career field is critically manned, there's also bonuses for staying in the military as well, which can be beneficial because it's usually one, so you get half first, and then the others are broken up through your rest of your contract. So if my career field right now is offering a $20,000 bonus, I'd get $10,000 my first year, just flat out, and then every year after that it would be broken down into my paychecks, and you'll see a difference. The entitlements that you get in the military, there's two sorts of entitlements that you can get if you're married and or have kids. So first one is basic allowance for supplements. That is a flat rate, $375 or wherever you are, and that's good because that supplements food for your family. And then also BAH, basic allowance for housing. Basic allowance for housing is dependent on your area and what the cost of living is in that area. So someone who lives in New York, is stationed in New York, is going to get a little bit more from somebody who is stationed in Arkansas, but that's just because of the cost of living. So where you go, the cost of living affects that. So your BAH will change from where you are, but it's still money, and it usually is more than enough to cover the rent in that local area. So now you have education and you have travel, but let's talk about how you're covered medically. As a military member, you are covered head to toe, fully in all health. If you dental, eyes, anything else, you're fully covered, and which is cool, which is a good thing as well, because you don't ever have to worry about medical expenses. You don't have to worry about, well, what am I going to do if I break my leg? Don't worry about it. You're covered. You have insurance, and it's fully covered. Like, when I say fully covered, I mean fully covered. There's doctors and facilities on base to cater to your needs, but if they can't accommodate you, then you're referred off base to somebody who can, not on your own dime, on the military's dime. Your family coverage, though, is a little bit different. They're not fully covered, but they are covered, and most of the time it's recommended to get a third-party insurance company for your family, but not you. So if you have a wife or kids, then you should definitely think about getting a third-party insurance company. But as for you, military member, you don't have to worry about any medical expenses. In where I'm stationed in New Jersey, by law, car insurance, this is crazy, but car insurance, you're required to have medical coverage on your car insurance just in case you get into an accident and the person that hit you doesn't cover full expenses. This is where being fully covered comes in, because they recognize that, hey, you're military, you're already fully covered, you don't have to worry about paying extra for this other insurance that you don't need, because even if they can't pay for it, the military is already going to pay for it. This brings me to my last point: camaraderie. Being bigger than yourself. Now, ever since I joined the military, I feel like I'm part of a family. I feel like not a day goes by where I don't feel like I'm making a difference. It could be something minute as vacuuming the cargo floor of an aircraft. It could be something small like changing a tire. It could be something major like getting this jet in the air so it can take these 100 paratroopers over to where they need to go to the drop zone. But no matter what it is, no matter what I'm doing in the military, I feel like I'm a part of something bigger. My brothers and sisters in arms, I know that they have my back, and I will definitely have their back regardless of what happens. And that is a feeling that I don't think I would have ever accomplished if I was doing anything else in life. This is something that I chose to do. I'm the first in my family to do it, and I can say wholeheartedly that it is something that I have made lifelong friends with, that people I would never even think of before, or never even seen before without the military, are people that I consider my brothers and my family. Those are just 5 short, good things highlighted to why you should join the military. And if any of those sound like appealing to you, or sound, this is something I should look into, I highly recommend it. If you're kind of at a standstill in life and don't know what to do, or need a little pick me up, or need a little boost, or need a career path, then I suggest joining the military. Thank you.